This lesson is called Equations with Addition and Subtraction. In week 1, you saw that it helps to think of a balance beam when solving some equations. It can also help to think of inverse operations. Remember that we have to get the variable by itself on one side of the equation. That's what we're trying to do, and that's how you solve an equation, is to get the variable by itself. Let's look at a couple of equations, and I'll show you how this is done, and then I'm going to work through 4 problems and let you work through them as well. First problem is n plus 3 equals 5, and we want to solve for n. So in order to solve for n, we need to get it by itself. Notice that on the same side of the equal sign with the n is a plus 3. We need to undo the plus 3, and we know from the last lesson that subtracting 3 will undo adding 3. So we're going to go n plus 3, subtract 3, equals, and because we subtracted 3 on the left, we must also subtract 3 on the right to keep it balanced. Now if we go back and look at this, we can see that a plus 3 and a minus 3 makes 0. That's why we did it in the first place. The inverse operations undo each other, and they go to 0, at least in addition and subtraction. So n plus 0 is just n, equals, and 5 take away 3 is 2. So doing it this way, n equals 2. But, as we learned a few lessons ago, we're not finished with solving our equation until we put the answer back into the equation and check it. So we're going to go ahead and check this equation. First thing we do is we rewrite the equation, n plus 3 equals 5, and this is a lot like the 4 steps we did for formulas. So step number 1, if you remember, was to write the formula, or in this case, write the equation. Step number 2 was to put in the given information, or in this case, to put in the answer that you got when you solved. So n is 2, so we're going to put the 2 in where the n is. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Step 3, you'll recall, was to do the calculation. 2 plus 3 is 5. That equals 5. And remember, step 4 was to label your answer. Well, these are just equations, and so there's no label to put with the answer, so we're not going to do step 4. In this case, we've checked it. 5 equals 5. That checks. And that's all there is to doing these solving equations. I'm going to get a new piece of paper now. If you'd like to have more time to look at that and to study it, just simply click your pause button and go over it again. I'm going to do one more problem for you, and then I'm going to do 4 problems for you to work out. Let's try the equation 15 equals a minus 7. The first thing you do is you look for the variable. Right there is the a, and with the a is a minus 7. To undo the subtraction of 7, we have to add 7, and when we add 7, we add it to both sides. So 15 plus 7 equals a minus 7 plus 7. We write it out again. And then the next step is we do the computation. 15 plus 7 is 22 equals a, because minus 7 plus 7 is just 0. Now we have our answer. Now it's time to check it. So we rewrite the original equation. 15 equals a minus 7. Substitute in the 22 for the a. 15 equals 22 minus 7. Do the calculation. 15 equals 15, and it checks. Now we're done. When you do these problems for me and send them in to me, this is the work I expect to see, just like this. All of these steps. Okay, let's do 4 problems for practice. You can stop at any time. You don't have to watch all 4 of them if you don't want to. If you feel comfortable, you may click your stop button at any time on this demo and go in and work on the assignment. Okay, let's do the first one. The first one is n minus 7 equals 16. Go ahead and click your pause button and work it out, and come back and I'll work it out with you. Okay, let's go ahead and work this problem out now. Since n is right here and we are subtracting 7, the inverse of subtracting 7 is adding 7. So we're going to add 7 to both sides. n minus 7 plus 7 equals 16 plus 7. And then do the calculations. N equals 23. 16 plus 7 is 23. Now we have to check our problem. So we'll rewrite our original equation. N minus 7 equals 16. We're going to substitute in the 23 for the n. Rewriting, 23 equals minus 7. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I wrote equals. Let's erase that off of there, and let's try again. 23 minus 7 equals 16. That's better. It's a good thing we use pencil in these operations, and we can use an eraser, right? Okay, then step 3 then would be to do the calculation. 23 take away 7 is 16 equals 16, and it checks. Great. I'll bet you did it right the first time, not like I did. Okay, if you feel comfortable at this point with these problems, you can stop this demo and go in and work on the assignment. If not, we'll carry on and do another one together. Get a new page, clean sheet, and we'll start a new problem. Let's try 13 equals a minus 17. Go ahead and click the pause button, work this out on your paper, and come back and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, let's go ahead and work this problem. 13 equals a minus 7. Since we're subtracting 17 from a, we need to do the inverse, which is adding 17. So we'll rewrite 13 equals, I need to add 17 to both sides, don't I? 13 plus 17 equals a minus 17 plus 17. So now I've added 17 to both sides, which is the inverse of subtracting 17. Now the next step is to do the calculations. 13 plus 17 is 30. 30 equals a. Alright, we have our answer. Now it's time to check it. So we rewrite our original equation. 13 equals a minus 17. We substitute in the 30 that we calculated for the a. 13 equals 30, take away 17. Then we do the calculations. 13 equals 13, and it checks. Very good. Your paper should look just like this one with all these steps. If you're comfortable at this point, then go ahead and stop this demo and work on the assignment. If not, let's go ahead and do another problem together. Get a clean sheet. Move it into position. All right. Let's try one like z minus 19 equals 14. We look to find the variable z, and we say, okay, we have a minus 19 with the z. The inverse of that is to add 19, so we rewrite z minus 19 plus 19 equals 14 plus 19. Then the third step is to do the calculations, so let's do that. Z take away 19 plus 19 is just z equals, and 14 plus 19 is 33. Now we're going to check our solution, put it back in. Z minus 19 equals 14. Always start with the original equation. Substitute the 13 in where the z is. 33 take away 19 equals 14. Third step is do the calculations. 13 take away 19 is 14 equals 14, and it checks. At this point, if you're comfortable doing these problems and you've gotten them all right so far and your work looks just like my work, then you should be ready to go in and work on your assignment. If you'd like to do one more problem with me, then hang in there. I'll get a new sheet and we will work on one more, and you can practice one more problem. Let's do a problem like 213 equals x plus 121. Okay, we look for the variable x on this right-hand side right here, and we can see that we're adding 121, so we need to subtract 121 from both sides. So let's write 213 minus 121 equals x plus 121 minus 121. That'll be our inverse operation to subtract 121 from the addition of 121. Now 213 take away 121 equals 92. 92 equals x. And now we need to check our problem and put our answer back in. So 213 equals x plus 121. Then we put the 92 in where the x is. 213 equals 92 plus 121. Then we do the calculation. 213 equals 213. And when you're doing these, I would suggest that you check this in your calculator and actually add 92 plus 121 in your calculator, because sometimes you can make a little bit of a mistake keying numbers into your calculator. So it's a good idea to check it and recheck it with your calculator to make sure. Don't just write it down and say, well, it must be 213 because that's what I got the first time. Must be right. Just take a second in your calculator and calculate it again. It only takes a second. And you'll find many mistakes this way and save yourself a lot of trouble. It's been fun doing these problems with you. I think you're ready now to go in and work on the assignment. All the problems are like this. If you have any trouble with any of these problems, please call me or instant message me, and I'll be glad to help you. Good luck.